You ever see evil in broad daylight? I'm talking about the kind of evil that smiles right at you while burning your whole life down and acts like she's doing you a favor. That's exactly what happened the day Karen tried to steal my house right from under me. But let me tell you, karma didn't waste no time serving up her justice. So, my name's Deshaun, born and raised right here in a small Georgia town where everybody pretends to mind their business till they don't. I work construction during the week, help coach my nephew's little league team on weekends, and I mind my damn business. But somehow, that wasn't enough for Karen. Oh, you'd spot her a mile away always wearing those blinding white tennis skirts like she's on her way to Wimbledon. Hair bleached so hard it looked like straw. Lips pursed so tight, I don't think she smiled in 20 years. And of course, she's the queen bee of the HOA Homeowners Oppression Association, as I like to call it. She walks around the neighborhood with that little clipboard of hers like she's the law, pointing out folks' garbage bins and lawn lengths, acting like we all signed up for boot camp. It started small siding my truck, leaving passive-aggressive notes about my unapproved exterior paint color, which, by the way, was the same dang color it was when I bought the place. But then she escalated. One morning I wake up, step out for coffee, and see her taking photos of my front yard, mumbling something about weeds and property values. I just nodded, sipped my coffee, and thought, okay, let her play her little games. But I should have known, Karen wasn't playing. She was building something. A few weeks go by, and next thing I know I get a notice in the mail me house is being auctioned off for unpaid fines. Fines I ain't never seen before. Fines for violations I ain't never heard about. They claimed I owed close to 20 grand for chronic noncompliance with HOA bylaws. 20 grand. I'm standing there reading the letter, heart pounding, thinking this has got to be some kind of sick joke. But oh no, Karen had worked the system. She and her little board of minions had been ruling in secret, slap-in fines on my property month after month for things like unauthorized garden gnome placement and excessive barbecue smoke. And they never bothered to actually deliver those notices, just kept them on record, waiting for the kill shot. Now, I ain't dumb. I didn't explode. I didn't go cussing her out or pounding on doors. I just watched. I showed up at the auction, standing at the back of the crowd, arms crossed, heart sinking, while folks started bid after bid on the house I built with my own two hands. That's when the twist hit, because sometimes the Lord sends help when you least expect it. See, my old high school buddy, Roy, who I hadn't seen in damn near 10 years, she steps up next to me. Roy's one of those quiet types, but smart as hell, went off to law school and made something of himself. Turns out, he'd moved back to town last year, and his mama still lived 2 streets over. He'd heard through the grapevine about the auction and came to see what the fuss was. I told him the whole mess, quick and low, while the bids kept flying. And Roy, he just smiles that lawyer smile and says, "Deshaun, they messed with the wrong man today." Right there on the courthouse steps, Roy pulls out his phone, starts snapping pictures, talking down names of bidders, copying the paperwork the HOA brought. And I see him emailing stuff to his office. 10 minutest, that's all it took. 10 minutes into that auction, and karma came knocking on Karen's door. See, what Karen didn't know was Roy specializes in property law. And what she really didn't know, bless her, here it is, that what they'd done. Completely illegal. They'd skipped mandatory notices. They'd fabricated some of the violations. And worst of all, the HOA president, yep. Karen had personally profited off past auctions just like mine. Roy flagged down the deputy standing by, asked for a pause on the auction, and presented enough evidence right there on his phone that the sheriff himself shut it down. Karen's facey, oh Lord, you should have seen it. That woman went from smug to pale faster than you can say lawsuit. But Roy wasn't done. Oh no. He suggested we hold a community meeting. Said if I was willing, we could lay this whole thing bare for everyone to see. And buddy, I was more than willing. So we fired up the OL smoker, invited the whole neighborhood over for what we called a transparency barbecue. Free ribs will get folks to show up to just about anything. We set up right on my front lawn. The one Karen tried to steal, and Roy stood on the tailgate of my truck, going through the whole story with copies of the bogus fines, emails, and HOA records that neighbors had started passing around. Turns out, I wasn't the only one Karen had targeted. She'd been running the same racket on single moms, retirees, anybody she thought wouldn't fight back. People were furious. Some of them teared up, realizing how close they'd come to losing their homes too. And Karen? She was standing there, arms crossed, trying to act like she wasn't sweating bullets, but she was. Folks started demanding answers, calling for a vote to dissolve the HOA right then and there. And let me tell Yaby, the end of that meeting, Karen's little empire crumbled. The HOA was officially disbanded 2 weeks later after a formal vote. The crooked fines were nullified, and Roy helped set up a new, transparent neighborhood council where folks actually worked together instead of being bullied. And get this, the best part, Karen ended up having to pay back thousands out of her own pocket, plus legal fees, when Roy helped the neighborhood file a class action suit. I didn't just get my house back, I got peace. The street felt lighter. People started helping each other more. We fixed up old Miss Johnson's fence together. The single mom at the corner? Folks took turns mowing her lawn. We weren't just neighbors again, we were a community. So yeah, Karen got my house auctioned off, or tried to. And karma? Karma hit her like a freight train, not even 10 minutes later. I tell this story every time folks start arguing about HOA boards or letting power-hungry folks take the reins. You ever had someone try to take something from you like that? Ever been bullied by folks hiding behind fake rules and fake smiles? I'd love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. Let's shine a light on this kind of mess. And hey, if you liked hearing how karma came swinging that day, go on and hit that subscribe button. More stories where that came from.